Hey Robert, Matthew here with freeprescriptionlenses.com, and that's right, Free Prescription Lenses. Cy was in the way. Cy, what you doing there? Drinking your sweet tea. I'm going to show you how I cut prescription lenses for your Duck Dynasty Duck Commander RealTree, model number 453, size 58 in the gunmetal. And what's cute, your camouflage temple tips is the shape of a gun stock. That was smart the way they designed that. But let me go ahead and get started. What I'm going to do is I'm going to trace your right lens. I'm going to put a couple dots on there, so everything is perfect. There we go. I'm going to measure the width of your frame, and that is 76 millimeters. I'm going to write that down on your lens. I'm going to take your lens out, and then I'm going to pull it in. I use this tool to trace. Usually when it's a full metal or full plastic frame, I can just pop the lenses out, but yours is held together by a 20-pound fishing string, so I'm going to trace the shape of your right lens. I put those dots on there so I can line it up on my 180 meridian, and then I put it into the tracing element of my Santinelli edger here at freeprescriptionlenses.com, where everyone loves a bargain and no one is disappointed with quality. You buy the frame and you get free, clear, single vision prescription or non-prescription fashion lenses, whatever you choose. This frame sells for $125, and that's all you pay. You get free prescription lenses, and of course no tax on eyeglasses here in North Carolina. So I'm going to type in the frame PD, which is 76. I'm going to put in your pupillary distance of 64, and this is the polycarbonate lens. Hang on. This has been cut for a rimless frame, and I always go a little bit larger for the rimless so it stays snug inside the frame. So I'm going to take your right lens, which reads -3. This is at -3, -50 at 10. I'm going to spin the axis wheel of my Marco 101 lensometer to 10. I'm going to put the power at -3, and I put your lens in and orient it until the sphere power comes in perfectly. And the optical center is just that dead center of the lens. I'm going to put 3 dots on your lenses. That gives me that 180 meridian again. It's hard for you to see that, so I'm going to darken those for you. And this is the right lens, so I'll mark it that. And let me do the same thing for your left lens, which reads -275 -1/4 at 95. Spin the axis wheel to 95. Set the power drum at -275. Rotate your lens until the sphere power comes in perfectly clear. Check the cross curve, which is your astigmatism, and I'll explain that later in just a moment. Let me put those dots on there again. And this is the left. So essentially I need to put this is known as a block. This is what's going to hold it in place in the lathe while it is cutting. So I need to stick this onto your lens, and 3M, the same people who make Post-it notes, make a double-sided adhesive sticker for our field. The black side is the sticky side. I'm going to stick that onto the block, pull away the tape to make this side sticky. And essentially, and this is fitting with the Duck Commander line of glasses, I have an optical crosshair, just like the crosshairs of a scope. You have a vertical meridian and a horizontal, and I make sure this is lined up perfectly inside that. Put your right lens in your eyeglass case. I'm also going to do the same thing for the left lens. Put the sticker on there, pull away the tape, get everything lined up in my crosshairs, and fire, dead on. So I'm going to take your right lens and put it into the chuck, or as I like to say, the Charles, because I don't know it well enough to call it chuck. But the calipers are going to come down, and they're going to trace the shape of the right side of your frame onto the lens to make sure the lens is large enough to cut out, and it will. It is tracing the concave side of the lens, the back surface, the rear surface, which is closest to your eyelashes, and then it's going to move over and trace the convex side of the lens, the front surface of the lens, which sits away from the face, all the while knowing exactly where to place the bevel so it stays inside the frame. The actual cutting wheel is down here on the bottom left. There's that lighter color wheel that's like a heavy grit sandpaper. That's going to grind away your polycarbonate material. And this wheel right here with that blade on the tip, that's what's going to cut a little blade all the way around the edge of your lens so it stays inside the string of the frame. And this is just a 20-pound fishing string. I will have to close the door while this is cutting due to the sound, but it is now 8:43 on Thursday, May 29th, 76 degrees in my hometown of Durham, North Carolina, at least according to my Samsung Gear watch. What do you think, Si? You like what you're seeing? Of course, you got your little jug of sweet tea and your sweet tea glass. So the guys at Duck Commander, at Duck Dynasty, they realized they don't have enough money, so they're now making eyeglasses, and they hired RealTree to manufacture their glasses for them. They did a very good job. This is a nice frame. This is for a large guy. It's called the Big Man Fit. It gives you the width and the length that you need. And it's got the RealTree emblem on the side of the temples, and of course the camouflage temple, also called the arm. I just love how they put that gun stock. Hopefully you can see that in the camera, where it looks like the stock of a rifle. Now your lenses, speaking of a rifle, your lenses are made out of polycarb. Polycarb is 40% thinner and lighter than regular plastic. It is virtually unbreakable. It is bulletproof up to 22 caliber. I love pulling that off. And has both UVA and UVB protection. We know what the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays can do to your skin due to exposure, where your eyes are 8 times more sensitive than your skin. So you have permanent sunscreen for your eyes now. If you notice, your lens is completely flat all the way around the edge, just like a nickel. If I were to take it out, it would set on the counter, stand upright on its own. But in just a moment, this arm's going to come down and slice a groove all the way around your lens so it stays inside the frame. Here we go. Now the arm comes down. This will get wet and messy. Hopefully no water flew up on the lens. And it's just putting a slice all the way around your lens. If you see this white powdery substance, you'll see more of that. This is going to be cleaned off in a little bit. Of course, you heard the saying, you got to have the right tool for the job, and that tool is a toothbrush for cleaning your lens. Close the door so water doesn't splash around. Let me see if I can clean this off so you can still watch through the door. Now it's going to go back onto the handstone and smooth out any rough edges that may still be there. Of course, it's putting the safety bevel on there, and actually I can do that a little bit quicker, so let me hit stop. Let's go ahead and start cutting the left lens. I'm going to take it out of the chuck, put the left lens in, flip that over to the left, and hit start. So just like before, it's actually going around now and tracing the shape of the left side of your frame now onto the left lens to make sure it's large enough to cut out. Just like before, if I could override this procedure, I would, but this is hardwired into the machine. It would save me a minute if I could eliminate this, but hey, for $30,000, what do you want? That's what this machine costs. Si, what you think about that? Come on now, come on now. So as that cuts, I'm going to keep working on the right lens. I'm going to take this block off. I'm going to go over to my handstone and smooth out these rough edges that are left over from the cutting cycle. So I'm going to put the safety bevel on there, going all the way around the lens. I'm going to use my thumbnail to scrape away as much of this white powdery substance, this is called Schwarf, as I can. And then I will use the toothbrush, and it's okay to wipe that on the floor. I do it all the time. I'm going to use the toothbrush to get out of the groove what I could not get with my thumbnail. Don't worry, this has never been in anyone's mouth. I just use it to scrub the toilets. No, I'm kidding, I'm kidding. It only touches lenses. So, let's go ahead and get this lens mounted. I'm going to darken that red spot before it goes away. That is your optical center. But you've heard that term, you got to have the right tool for the job, and everyone wants to know how to mount lenses in a frame like this. So that tool that you got to have, where'd it go? I got my spare up here. That tool is a little piece of ribbon like for wrapping presents. So I put the frame or the lens into the frame where it should go. Get everything lined up perfectly. And then I fold the string in half, grab one side, and I start at the outside corner and move my way towards the nose. And when you hear the snap, it is in there. I put my finger on the string, pull the strap out, and we are there. So I'm going to put the axis wheel, and don't worry, I covered up your phone number, your name, your email, so your fans can't find you, Robert. But I'm going to spin the axis wheel back to 10. I'm going to put it in just over that red dot and read the prescription, and I'm getting -3, -50, a combined power of -350, which is what we have. When you have someone owes you $3 and they borrow 50 cents, they would owe you $3.50. In fact, your prescription reads -3, -50 at 10. Your left eye is -275, -1/4 at 95. In the optical world, everything is in quarter increments, 0.25, 0.50, 0.75, 1. You're at 3, so you need 12 steps of correction to get everything the correct size. This is your astigmatism correction. Astigmatism is what makes 6s and 8s, P's and F look like it's fuzzy edges. This makes everything the correct size. This takes away the fuzzy edges. You only need 2 steps of correction there. The 10 is just an arbitrary number. If this were a fine-tune knob, this just tells us where to fine-tune it. From 0 to 180, we just turn it to 10, and that clears everything up. For your left lens, we would have to turn it to 95. And of course, you need less correction in your left eye. You only need 11 steps of correction to get everything the correct size, and only 1 step of correction to take away the fuzzy edges. So that is your prescription. Back to cutting the groove onto the frame, the lens, excuse me. Sigh. When am I going to learn to say the right things? Don't be shaking your head no. Shake it yes. Shake it yes. There we go. Thank you, Cy. Of course, this is your RealTree case that comes with it. I also provide one of my cleaning cloths and instructions on how to make your case and cleaning cloth last you for years. Look at that. That's some good Schwarf left over. That's a giblet right there. Let's see. Yeah, we should be finishing up soon. Let me go ahead and stop this. I can clean it better than the machine can. So I'm going to take it out of the chuck. Close the door so we can see Cy. Dry your lens off. Of course, take that block off. Peel away that sticker. Now I'm going to go over to the handstone and back to the safety bevel real quick around the outside of your lenses. Use my thumbnail to scrape all that off again. Drop it on the counter and then wipe it on the floor. Then I'm going to use the toothbrush and get everything out from that groove that was cut into your lens. There we go. That's looking good. Now where's your frame? Pop out the left lens, the demo lens that say RealTree, and I will be sending you these. You get all the original packaging as I receive them. Put that into your frame, grab that strap, start at the outside corner, and work my way towards the nose. And when you hear the snap, there we go. Hang on, this one's tough. It's still live. There we go. Now it's in there. Put my finger on the string, pull that out. Now, let me darken that so you can see. Put this in at 95 again. Check the powers. Minus 275, minus a quarter. So, your pupillary distance is 64. I'm going to put, where my thumb is at, I'm going to put the end of my PD stick, which is at 0. And when I hold it up on the left side, hopefully you can read 64. That is one tick mark before the 65. So that is perfect. One last thing, well, two things I want to do before I ship it to you. I'm going to clean those dots off of your lenses now. They are no longer needed. I'm going to hold your lenses up to the light to inspect and make sure there are no scratches or blemishes that could have been on the lenses when they were shipped to me. A little bit of swarf at the edge of the lens there. Perfect, dead on. Now before I ship to you, I would like to mention that 99% of all optical shops do free adjustments if you ask them. But I'm going to make sure this is in standard alignment. So if you get these and they're too loose or too tight or they're high on one side, because 80% of people have one ear that's higher than the other, I'm no different. When I take mine off and I press down on mine, they wobble on the counter. Yours do not do that. I'm going to make sure they're in standard over a 3-point stance, 1, 2, and the bottom of the lenses being 3. I press on the counter, there is no wobble. I flip it over, press down, there is no wobble. I close each temple to make sure they overlap perfectly and the same amount of tension on the spring hinges, and there is. So that's that. If anyone has any questions, just email me at freeprescriptionlenses@gmail.com. Robert, I hope you enjoyed watching your glasses being made, and everyone else got the chance to see how I bring that love and feeling back to glasses. Thank you.